The following is intended for mature audiences only. May contain strong language, crude humor, adult themes, and suggestive material.
Hey, I'm Jake Bradbury.
And I'm Will Blank.
And we are 20th Century Fox, a film collective that produced 16 short films. And for each film, we made a behind-the-scenes podcast. This episode, we have actress Tracy Doring and director of photography Alejandro Wilkins. We talk about a shoot where there were too many cooks in the kitchen, and I wasn't there to herd the cats. This was the group's only 2-day shoot, with lots of ambitious shots and multiple endings. Is simple better? Yes, but hey, at least we shot something, and we hope this is someone's favorite.
And just a warning, we changed the ending of this short after the recording of this podcast. The old ending used to have Tracy looking at me vomiting and then pulling up a box of her own Milk Duds and spitting them out into that box. And then it went to the credits, just so you have context. All right, let's go. This one's about Chocolat.
Chocolat. Who do we got here today? We got me, Jake.
Got me, Will.
Got me, Tracy.
Alejandro.
And we're missing Molly, Shy Molly, because she was too shy to be on the podcast.
Molly's here.
Yeah, okay, so then how did we come up with this one? The people who are here.
This was a week that I was gone, and Will gave me the nicest compliment when I came back. He said, Don't ever leave me again.
I think I said that too.
Yeah, that's sweet.
No, that's not what I meant.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we came up. We went around the room saying things about our week. I don't know if there was another idea that we were even considering, but I had. This is a horrible story.
It's
telling
a great story.
It's just terrible, but it's a little too real for what happens in this short. I went and saw Solo, and I like to, when I go to the movies, I like to have Milk Duds and popcorn. And
great combination.
It's my favorite. Mm-hmm. I've loved it since I was a little kid. And anyway, I get all my stuff, and the movie's about to start, and then I had to stand up for some reason. I didn't realize my Milk Duds were. Oh, I was high. I was super blasted.
That's the biggest.
And I had the Milk Duds in my lap.
Yeah.
I stood up and it just spilled everywhere, but I didn't realize it. And so I was watching the movie and eating the popcorn. I reached for my Milk Duds. There was nothing there. And then some guy came up behind me and he was like, "Hey, dude, like when you stood up a second ago, like you spilled the Milk Duds everywhere." And I was like, "Oh, thanks, man." And so then I looked back and I saw the Milk Duds.
You were so lost.
Yeah,
that he decided I'm going to help.
I need to tell him. He clearly doesn't know.
Yeah, so
where are they?
I then started to reach down and pick up the Milk Duds, but the movie was starting, and so I wasn't going to go get more Milk Duds.
Yep.
So I was like, but I don't want him to see me just picking up the Milk Duds off the ground. They were sort of off the path where people walk a little bit. I didn't want him to see me doing it.
And he already
so,
noticed
you were
you
sitting
dropped
like-
them, so...
On the end?
No, I was sitting in front of him. But there's a gap between the front row seats and
the walkways in
the
front of
like
you.
stadium seats.
Okay,
right?
okay.
So he's like at the bottom of the stadium seats, saw me at the back of the front seats, and then so I started picking them up and putting them back in the box, and then like knowing that he couldn't see me from behind, I just started eating the Milk Duds.
And he doesn't know how many boxes you
And
have. Maybe
yeah,
10 boxes.
So I just did it,
From
and I was
the
like,
ground?
I was like, dude, these were on the ground. It's so gross. But I'm like, yeah, but
And
people don't really
movie
walk
theater
there.
ground.
It was like slightly off of the beaten
still
path.
Are you kidding me?
So,
Yeah, that's
so
everybody's reaction that day.
I didn't. So look, I just told you. I revealed something. I shared.
Yes, you're so brave.
I'm so brave.
So brave.
Thank
so
you for your service.
I did this disgusting thing, and I didn't even want to tell you guys on the day, but I was like, this is something that happened. And then everybody started liking it. And then Molly was like really championing the story, I feel like. But then you got really into it. Everybody got into it. I was never
It's
Yeah.
a great
excited about
story.
it.
It's a
just-
great story.
yeah.
I don't know why you're shy about it. I would tell everybody. It's that perfect amount of like awkwardness, but relatable and embarrassing.
Gotcha.
The
a great
relatable
combo.
part, like everybody knows you can get to a point with something that you obsess about a little bit where it's like, yeah, I'll do this. If it's not going to hurt me, I don't think, and nobody's really watching, okay.
Or something you're really excited about eating, and
Yeah.
then you drop it, and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
man.
Ice cream or whatever.
yeah, just let me, no one's here. I'll just...
Yeah.
So it's
pick it up.
relatable.
But that's also, I mean, relatable too, of where like you might question something like that and not do it. Like, I don't think I would have done what you did. But maybe if I was high, I might have.
Yeah. Or if it was
So-
your favorite snack, like this is a childhood
It's my favorite
snack, you know?
Yeah,
Dude,
it's a
it's so
ritual.
funny. It
Yeah.
reminds me of, you ever had Tate's cookies?
Yeah.
Yes.
I love Tate's cookies. They're ridiculous. Like there's this crispy airiness to them, and they have the chocolate chips. You know, it's like ridiculous.
You know.
they have them here, and I bought a whole bag, and I'm not supposed I'm trying not to have those kind of sweets in my house, and so I went through one of the little baskets
The
and I'm
sleeve.
throwing it away, and I threw it away, and I was telling my friend. Because my friend was there when we bought them, and she was just like, "You sure you don't want to save them?" I'm like, "No, I'm gonna throw this away." And they were sitting in the garbage in the little plastic bin I'd taken out of the bag, and I was like, "Fuck, I'm gonna eat these later." And sure enough, later on, like the next day, my friend was gone, and I'm just there by myself. I'm like, "Fuck, I want some of those cookies."
Yeah.
And I look in there, and they're like soggy, and they're getting really gross.
Oh,
But
know
I
that.
didn't
thought
eat
they were
them.
Still
See?
wrapped. Okay.
But see,
okay.
I was so considering
But
Huge
if
sigh
they
of
weren't
relief.
soggy, you would have.
I swear I was thinking about it regardless, like-
and you probably were thinking about it all day too. You kind of like upset. What if it would have ruined his whole movie? He would have thought about it.
It would have
the
ruined my
whole
whole movie.
Time.
If I was
It would've
high,
really-
though, if I
Yeah.
was high,
Also,
or if there
I-
was something else involved, I probably would have been like, "Fuck it."
I also was like, this will strengthen my immune system. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
sure. Yes.
So,
The whole day.
You didn't
that
think
shot
that.
he tried to talk himself into it.
Like,
you
The whole
just
day
gotta
was-
search
Yeah.
for anything,
anything
that will
anything,
justify
yeah.
it.
I wasn't there on the day, but you did eat all of those Milk Duds off the
So
ground.
then I
that
actually
day.
did do something more disgusting, only slightly more disgusting
For
than
the
the movie
sake of
theater,
film?
is picking up the actual Milk Duds. I mean, there's a lot of ones where I'm faking it.
Oh,
but there
okay.
are ones where, yes, it
Straight
was
up
on
from
the
the
ground.
sidewalk.
You can see that I'm eating it. Yeah. So we rolled with that idea, and thankfully it resonated with people. But I didn't like the whole vomiting thing. That was
see,
like
there was a lot of back and forth. I think this was a potential one with too many cooks.
Wait, did
where
this take
there
2
was a
days
lot
to
of-
shoot?
Yeah.
Yeah,
2
we
days.
came back
Yep.
and did
It's the only one I think that
but
took
it-
2 days to shoot.
But it was good because I ended up getting a gimbal for like the moving shots,
Nice.
which helped out reveal the poop and and carry you through your eating of the Will eating the what are they?
I just want to say my favorite thing about
Milk
these
Duds?
podcasts.
Milk Duds.
My favorite thing about this podcast is that we're sounding really serious. You're like, I got a gimbal, you know, we did these beautiful side shots, and then we put in like, and then we showed his butt, and he was masturbating,
and there was real poop,
and then we showed real poop, and then we showed poop on there. It's just like
we were escalating it. We were like, okay, so how can we tell the story? The story, first of all, is you're just eating stuff off the ground, but then where does it go, right? And then your escalation was seeing the dog shit.
Yeah, because we wanted different levels. So at first it was like they just fell on the ground. The cement's not that bad.
Yeah.
The grass is kind of gross. The dirt and the bugs.
Yeah.
Then we needed more, so we got to like poop and throw up and just a combination of everything.
Yeah, it was just supposed to be
really great choice.
It's really twisted. God.
No, I forget how we came to that point. I guess it was just.
But that's what it
Yeah,
was. It was the escalation.
We wanted 3 points, and we only had the sidewalk, dirt, and then poop, and then.
You need to have some sort of reaction to that. I think it would have been great if you just grabbed the poop with the milk dud and just like put it in his face.
Oh yeah, that sounds good. Sounds really good.
Okay, what was that dog poop made out of? Because that wasn't actual dog poop, was it?
There was some dog poop in it.
So there was actual.
You
dog
were putting
poop.
water on some dried up dog poop that we found because we couldn't find any fresh,
rehydrating
which is crazy. And I have a video of you like sprinkling water on it.
My
on
God.
old dog
secret
shit.
video.
I think it looks pretty good.
The most disgusting video. But then I also we couldn't finish all the shots. It actually ended up being really ambitious. There were tons of little setups with like picking up milk duds and
just moving around from getting different angles of the picking up.
I had to leave too.
You had to leave.
Yeah.
So actually,
Molly,
or
that's
we did
the back of Molly's
did your part on the first day, and then the second day, I think it was. Oh wait, you had to leave. So Molly played you, and then we got you on another day to film it.
No, we shot.
No, I did that day.
We did?
And then we just did like over the shoulder. Which I totally forgot about, and it doesn't. I don't even notice it.
No, don't
you don't even notice it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Were you wearing the same thing? I mean,
I gave her my shirt.
Oh, okay. So we had this all set up.
So we had Molly be the stand-in for Tracy, but we had tons of setups. We ran out of time. I threw a fit. I got really pissed off. I don't remember why.
Yes.
I
got
remember
so mad.
why the batteries weren't charged.
Oh, it's because I just forgot to try. I wanted to finish it all in one day.
Oh, you missed his meltdown.
Oh, I'm glad I missed it. I'm glad I missed it. Seriously.
Oh my God.
I forgot to charge the batteries, or they weren't plugged in properly, or something. So we couldn't keep shooting. We were forced to stop.
That's why.
And also, the stupid share grid people had lost so many parts.
Right.
Like I lost my AC adapter, so it was a reminder for me too that like renting on ShareGrid was so fucking whack, and they just my camera was so cheap, they just didn't give a fuck, and they lost all my parts, and so I couldn't charge the battery. I flipped out, and it ruined the mood for everybody. It was great. I was like, cool, I just destroyed everything. But you were still willing to come back and shoot all the pickups we needed to do.
Oh yeah, see, this was again, the whole idea of following through. This is what it was all about for me. Is even today with the spinach, where I literally was this morning in bed, and last night when I was going to bed, like, I don't want to do this.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna tell these guys, let's just do the podcast. And we did like 5-6 shots, nailed it, and got it done.
It's pretty good.
Yeah,
it's pretty funny.
And that was
I was really. I'm more stoked about what we shot today than the beginning of it. Actually,
well, in context, Alejandro wanted to direct a short and go through that process, and so he wrote something really and then
directed anything since college. I wanted to understand what these people, these guys, or everybody here is going through, while I'm over here like as the DP saying, I need this. I need to understand what your vision is, and why don't you? Why don't you have this prepared? Blah blah.
Will and I actually had a plan to be like divas on set. We didn't really do that. We should have done that.
I guess today I was sort of a diva.
A little bit. Yeah, you talked.
Where I just didn't.
Dude, it was awesome. I fucking. This is way super tangent.
No,
it was
fine.
great. It was great.
Yeah.
Just being able to work with you guys, and I didn't feel anything was personal. I really felt like whatever you were feeding me back, I'm like, okay, let's go that. Let's go with that.
Yeah.
So Chocolat, because I wasn't there, I can ask questions.
Yeah, go for it.
So it sounds like.
Well, that's also why we called it Chocolat, is because Chocolat sounds so classy, and
it's
this
so
thing
perfect.
is so filled with just disgusting behavior.
Yeah, it's hilarious. So the vibe on set was super tense, and
just for the end.
It was okay.
Just for the end.
No, I was wondering about sound design is such a huge part of this because I remember spending a day with you and recording sounds, and then none of those being useful, and then you had to re-record all the sounds.
Yeah.
But there were scraping noises. There was teeth against milk dud noises. There was.
Yeah.
It was just like this whole soundscape.
You went with me into the back alley,
Yeah.
so that there wasn't any traffic wash. It was like as clean as we could possibly get it, and I basically had to crawl around on the ground to get the accurate sounds of my jeans scraping against the.
And my favorite noise was just the water bottle against the concrete of the vomit.
Oh yeah, and then I just kept squeezing and splashing water onto the ground.
Yeah. That was fun. And
yeah.
Was this the first one that you did stereo recording?
For the backgrounds are stereo recordings, so there's 2 mics that we hooked into our recorder to get accurate perspective sound of our street, basically, and all the cars that pass by. I don't know if anybody cares, but there was something kind of fun about that to me, just recreating the actual environment as much as possible.
It sounds like we're dealing with antiquated technology. It's like, oh, now in stereo.
Yeah. Well, but your backgrounds, your room tone and stuff like that. If you want it to feel immersive or feel like you're in a space, there's a huge difference between recording with 1 mic and recording with 2 mics.
Because your ears.
Because it mimics how you hear, and so that's why you'll notice a stereo background without even noticing that it's stereo.
And
you won't be able to put a name to it.
A new setup, or did you just have 2 mics?
No, we just happen to have 2 mics.
Oh, okay.
That were good, so we could record each side.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was super tedious, trying to figuring out every single little itty bitty sound from the milk duds going in your mouth to scraping on the ground, and like all that stuff was recorded and placed because this was another short that was shot without any sound, so we recreated every bit of Foley and sound in the
still didn't learn that we had to record sound no matter what.
Well, I don't think I like recording all this stuff after the fact because it gives me more control.
Deliberate.
And I can raise and lower the set. Everything's baked into one thing if we just record it on set. But if I record all the individual pieces, then I can control the volume of all the pieces and emphasize things.
And in terms of acting, Tracy, did you say this was one of the more difficult ones that you've had to do?
Yes, actually, because it turns out when you have to spit out milk duds, it's chocolate and caramel, so they just all go together. So even though I had like 8 in my mouth, it would come out as like a gross blob. So I'd have to like keep them separate and then spit them out, try and spit them out individually. It was very weird.
Ew.
It was very uncomfortable. I know.
You were so good at it.
I know. I think I even had to use some that might have been on the ground because we were running out.
Oh yeah, because there were like 4 or 5 boxes, and then
you guys are
I was having to
sacrificing for your art.
There was a bowl, or there was a picture of like a paper towel with all these disgusting used quote unquote milk duds all over it.
And it was
didn't
hot.
buy enough milk duds.
And it was hot.
They would melt like immediately on the concrete.
Yeah.
We'd have to pick them up, and then it was just like, then they didn't look the same, so we couldn't use those
and
milk
that was
duds
part of the
again.
progression
and it was
too. Was getting seeing my fingertips covered in chocolate,
The most disgusting image in this piece is not the poop or the vomit or anything. It's you picking up like a melted one and then eating it, and then your jeans going over the melted spot. I don't know. There's something about that. I was like, don't get that dirty. Why are you getting that dirty?
I want to see that.
I mean, we can play it back after you. That's
so
funny.
you put your jeans into the
because he's crawling, so he crawled
and the dog shit is a composite of actual dog shit and store-bought fake dog shit. Really, and that's why there are different colors, and the different colors actually read as real, like the dog was sick or something. It's just more disgusting.
What's the backstory of the dog poop?
And then sell it with the sound of a fly as opposed to
Who was for the? There was 2 things. There was like, do you throw up and still, or do you eat it afterwards or not? And then do we do the dog shit or not? I was for all of them.
Yeah, you were like
you were all the way.
Max out. You were like
do it,
cackling. You're like, we have to do it. And then Will's over here going, I don't know. I don't want to throw up, guys. I really don't want to
Well, it
throw
was
up,
just
guys.
gross out humor, and I just didn't
Yeah.
want to do gross out humor.
I think Molly was in my corner though.
Oh, Molly loves gross shit, so she was
probably-
100%.
She
Where were
probably
you
loves
on-
storyboarding. Will
yeah,
throwing up.
Yeah, she
That's
loves
pretty
that.
good.
the poop.
And wait, so we shot it with the vomiting and stuff. Oh, but we were just arguing about how the ending was, because you guys don't like the ending or something.
No, I thought watching it this time, I think it would be great if you made it into like a Milk Duds commercial. That like this whole lead up was going to be like you have an ending plate that's like Milk Duds, eat them every day.
Yeah,
you know,
it's like a
that.
weird Super Bowl
Yeah, it's like
commercial.
Yeah,
or
right.
something
It's
that
like
would play.
that's the funny Super Bowl commercial that everyone loves. Is the one where he eats a shitty Milk Dud and throws up. I just thought that'd be funny.
And then it didn't read
But
for
she
you,
spit them
and it
out.
didn't read for
She had to
you.
spit them
Well,
out.
that you cut off the spitting out,
Oh, okay.
and then you just cut to the like fun Milk Duds logo.
I could see that. I don't know if it would be like any funnier for that, but
Yeah.
Maybe not.
I could see that working.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
So then give your rationale as to why how you would make it a better ending, or how you didn't like how it was or is.
Well, I don't know. I don't think it's terrible. I just think it's not as strong of a punch as we could have gone for or could have gotten.
I think that was a.
How do we make
problem
it
with
stronger,
this one.
though?
Yeah, because we kept changing. Because I wanted a totally different one. I wanted one with like a Postmates person and like delivery. And,
Oh
like,
yeah, that was the other
Oh,
idea.
I wanted
Yeah.
something totally different. So this one I'm kind of like wishy-washy on because I'm like, it's okay. I don't feel like it packed a punch. It
What
was just.
It didn't
bad.
have-
So
it never
Postmates, they
had-
were delivering Postmates, and then he saw.
I wanted
doing it?
because we talked about a lot of different things, and this is the storyline that I wanted, even though, because we had a bunch of them. It wasn't just between two, it was between like 7.
Yeah.
But I like the idea of Will order, like having a bunch of empty Milk Dud boxes, like that's all he eats. And he ordered Postmates from somebody, but as the Postmates hands them over to him, she drops them and they go everywhere. Postmates is like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. It's my fault. I'll go get some more. Comes back to like with more Milk Duds and then sees Will on the ground eating the ones on the ground and just being like, oh, that's so gross. Like it only took me 5 minutes to get these.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah. No one. It's okay.
I know they're not great, but I don't.
Well,
they
but
were
so
all
then,
like that though.
Yeah,
they were all
we
like,
didn't have
couldn't get an
We
ending.
didn't have
Exactly.
So then what?
the-
How can we make this ending better? If
punch.
we fantasize, what's the better ending? We already know Jake's version, which
Yeah.
is just making it a commercial. What's our other options?
I think it was just showing her watching him
yeah.
was enough, because it's not a heavy punch, but for somebody like me, just seeing him throw up is funny enough, and you're not going to get a bigger punch than that. For
Yeah, and
something
I think
like this.
the idea of me throwing up the Milk Duds was a really good idea, and it sounded great, but it doesn't read as
Execution,
good
yeah.
to me. Yeah, because when I'm watching it now, I'm like, why are they both eating Milk Duds?
Yeah.
Instead of before, it was like funny because like, why are they both eating Milk Duds? And now I'm like, I don't know.
Oh, so like now that time has passed, you
Yeah,
sort of like
kind of
see
a
it a little
thing.
differently.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think her just reaction looking at him would be enough. Just being like,
Just like she just saw this horrible
and then he's
thing.
caught. That's
Yeah,
funny.
Because
That's
for me, it
embarrassing.
brings it into the surreal that she also happens to be eating Milk Duds.
Or-
Like everyone in this fucking world eats
Yeah.
Milk Duds. What?
Or
It's
like if
this-
I would have seen you and made a face, and then you had very cautiously spit out like 3
Or
Milk
run
Duds and
away.
kept walking. Yeah,
Oh,
running or
got it,
something.
got
I think
it.
that would have been a little.
like under judgment.
Yeah,
I
just be
would.
like,
I would.
oh, never mind.
That would have been
Funny.
pretty good. Yeah. Under judgment,
If you
I
were
spit it
all
back out,
game
and then I
until
leave.
you saw
until
that.
someone
Yeah.
else saw
Watching,
me.
that
yeah.
would have been fucking.
That would have been funny.
That would.
Cool.
We
That
figured
was
it out.
great.
Got
That
the-
would have been great.
We got it, guys.
Great.
Got
Spit it all over yourself.
Let's go back in time.
I'm kidding. I didn't want to eat this. I'm
No,
kidding.
Yeah, yeah,
no,
no.
This is-
What?
Like tried to
Throw-
play it.
throw
Tried
it
to play it
that
off.
would be really fucking
That'd be funny.
funny.
Just play it off like,
This is a joke.
and
that
then
would've
just
been
walked
good.
away awkwardly.
Yeah.
That would be. Yep. That would have been it.
Great.
Well, this is a great
and then,
podcast where
like,
we
you
just
try
go
to hit
to
on her
how we can make our
as
short
well.
films better and are not going to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this.
It was a tough one. It was such a great story that you told, and then we, for whatever reason, we had such trouble trying to like make it
Adapting
as
it.
good.
Yeah.
Sometimes just reality is
Should have
so
just done
funny.
that.
We could have just
verbatim.
had you in
Yeah.
the couch,
Yeah.
just dropping them on the floor here. But you'd need somebody
We talked
to...
about that too. Yeah, we wanted
We
somebody to
did.
watch, and then we were all over the place.
It would have to be
Yeah.
a theater. It'd have to be the same scenario to be
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
funny.
A
as
heavily
it is.
trafficked area.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
This was there was at least for me, there was Molly was new.
Yeah.
Jake wasn't there.
Mm-hmm.
Was there somebody else?
It felt really off, guys. It
Well,
felt really
I'm just
off.
saying, like, to go that far out too. It wasn't like the Constant Gardener, which is starting small. That was probably, for the ones that I've done, the most amount of shots. It was exterior shooting. It just involved a lot more than...
And we were trying to combine 7 different ideas.
Yeah,
I feel like we
and
had
then all
7
these
total
heads,
completed
yeah.
stories, and then tried to get them all into one, and then nobody liked what the other one. It was kind of
Everyone
a mess.
was attached to their own idea.
So then were the first 3 ones just the only good ones, and then everything else is just chaff, or what?
No,
I-
not at
no.
all.
No, I don't think that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't think that
I
either.
That's
don't.
good.
I actually think this one was pretty funny.
Yeah.
I think it's
We're,
well
just, we're
executed.
just being
I like
harsh
it.
because
Yeah,
it's
we're-
us. That's the only reason I'm saying
Okay.
this.
And again, it's going to be someone's favorite.
Yeah,
Someone who loves gross out humor is going to be like,
finally.
Yes.
I've been waiting for this.
And this podcast or whatever seems to be like a critique on what we would change or how did we go about it, but also it's kind of a learning process on like breaking it down of what we would do next time. And we haven't talked about like how would we do that again, or maybe we have a little bit.
Did, yeah,
But
a
this
little
is
bit.
this one was really interesting for me because I didn't like the idea, and at a certain point, I took myself out of the creative a little bit, and I said, "All right, I'll do whatever you guys want me to do. You want me to eat the fucking milk dud out of the vomit? You think all of you think that's funny? All right,
like
I'm
that.
outweighed."
It was exactly like that. You went
Yeah.
into like a poopy face. You were
Yeah, I
like,
was
fine,
like,
I'll do it.
yeah,
Fine,
I'll
I'll
do
do
it.
it. Then. And
Whatever,
you're like,
whatever,
but
man.
this is at like 1:00 or something too. We were like, can we just start?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Oh my god!
This
And I
took
just
so long
wanted
to
to
get
do
it started.
anything. I was like, just start. If we just start it, then we could
That's usually
finish.
my job, is to just be like,
I
all right, enough
know.
talking. Let's do it.
Yeah.
I think what we learned today, too, with your spinach one was picking a out time.
Oh yeah, that was
That
a
was
great idea.
hugely helpful.
But I also felt like we were pretty fresh. I don't
Yeah.
know how long it's been since the beginning of that, whatever. But I felt
That's
pretty
true.
fresh as in coming in here, and it's just like, oh yeah, let me just see what we're doing. Okay, shot. We had a script already. We didn't have to come up with a concept.
Yeah, I was going to say you guys are already
Rehearsal.
kind of on the same page
Yeah.
because you had a script and stuff.
It's true.
So maybe just if we had just come up with a smaller concept. But the weird thing is, it feels like not that they're getting worse, but that they're getting more ambitious.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like the purge went backwards into the the minimalism of all of this. But I think before that and maybe after that, most of them were trying to just be a bit more. I mean, I think the first one that I saw that was really intricate, or that you guys shot, but I saw it later, was the Girl Interrupted.
Yeah.
Which, when I saw that, I was like, that was a whole short film. That was a long project. And so that was way more ambitious. And so if you're trying to one-up yourself or trying to continue that, it's harder to keep it up and keep them good and always be satisfying everybody, which is filmmaking in general. But you see the progression. I don't know how to keep it even. I don't know if you guys have any thoughts on that. How would you keep it always at the level of where I look at the Constant Gardener and I'm like, I wouldn't change anything. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think we just have to keep in mind that simple is always better in these particular things.
Well, how do you scale up Constant Gardener?
You just expand the world. Who does this guy interact with? What is his whole day about?
Oh no, I don't mean that
Oh.
story particular. I mean the level of being able to say, oh, I wouldn't change anything.
I think it's keeping it simple. I think you're right when we think, at least I think that you have to be more ambitious with every single one. Where I'm like, let's go
Okay.
outside now. Let's get more characters. Let's get more dialogue. Let's do this. I think the best ones that
Which
we've
is just
made,
experimenting, right?
Yeah, it's experimenting,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
I loved. I would not have done anything differently, honestly, because I love experimenting. This is what the whole thing was about.
Mm-hmm.
But the best ones are the ones that are super simple, that have like one concept and we execute it well, or one character and we execute it well.
What was your favorite one?
I wouldn't pick favorites, but I love The Wizard. I think the video game one is really funny, and everyone can relate to it.
Constant Gardener or The Wizard.
Wow.
I like them.
And
both.
those were our first two?
Those are the first two.
Yeah.
Those are the first two. Well, I guess technically,
Oh,
Any
you're
Given
calling it
Sunday
The
was the
Wizard
first one.
now because of the game that was
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because it was the only one that didn't have the title of a movie.
Gotcha.
So
The Completionist is a great title, but it needs to fit the theme.
No, now I get it.
That
I
one
was
always
like,
confused
who
me
the fuck
because
is
the
Wizard?
completionist, I always thought of the Constant Gardener. Because I was like, because he completed.
yeah.
So I was so confused when you guys would talk.
We have so many titles for these things anyway, so it's like
there's the working title, production title,
and then the real title.
How much is The Wizard your favorite because, or like most memorable because you relate to it? Like that one I like, but it does, I don't connect with it as much.
Oh, really?
No, I mean I wouldn't say like, oh, I would change that in any way or anything like that.
Maybe it's just
I
how
love
much
it.
It's
video
not as
games
memorable
you
to
play
me.
Yeah, and I
or
love the
something.
goofiness of especially when VR came out, or even seen like grandmas playing or whatever, the whole like over exaggerated motions
You
as
just
he's
look like an
turning
idiot,
and stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, I thought and it's like you're doing nothing. Like it's just very calm. You're just sitting by yourself playing this game. I think it's so funny.
I haven't watched
like
it in
the
a while. I
chicken
do
thing.
remember watching that stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
chicken.
Because
I
in
like the-
every video game
Yeah.
ever,
Every
you have
video
to
game.
like get some meaningless
And you
task from an
always try
NPC.
and punch or hit first. Like you're like, oh, I can't. And it won't let you. It's like, no, you just have to go get the chicken.
You guys all play video games.
Not a
Yeah.
I
lot,
do.
but I.
Well, you know,
Yeah.
I think maybe that might be just a playing a bunch of video games thing. Because I remember when we screened at Unreasonable Shorts, a group of nerds came up.
Yeah.
Why did you say
I like how you say that like you're not one of them.
You should have seen his
Totally.
face.
Yeah, like okay, I'm above them somehow.
So yeah, these fucking nerds came up, dweebs, if you will, and they were like, "Oh my gosh, that was so funny!" Like, yeah, it's like totally like Zelda or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, I know, get out of my face.
Whatever, you rode that high
I
for
fucking
weeks.
like
You totally high
kidding me?
fived
faces
them.
out of the
You're
way,
like,
Let me buy you all
kicked them in the
a
nuts,
drink.
You high fived them and were like, Triforce.
stole their chocolate milk. I don't know what you guys are talking about. I rejected them. Yeah, so it might just be video game humor in particular. But also
I like
conceptually.
how that one was shot as well.
Yeah, because we used a different camera for
Yeah.
the VR world versus the real world.
Oh,
I
I didn't know
thought
that.
was really nice.
Yeah.
And the shooting it was really fun too. It was our first
Yeah.
field trip. We went out and it was cold. Here's the thing: I remember going out there and being like, "Ah, man, we're outside. It's kind of cold." Like, ugh. And then it was just fun. I don't know. It was just fun to shoot.
So is there a correlation between the ones that, I mean, the ones that were easygoing, you feel it on set,
Mm-hmm.
and the Chocolat was somewhat painful, not like super painful, but it was just hard to get through the whole way. And obviously, you see it there. That
What
I don't
had
know. I don't know. I think it came together pretty well.
Chocolat?
Yeah,
I think it did.
Yeah, I do too.
I think it looks really
I do too.
nice.
but
It does.
The two cameras
Sounds
matched
good.
well enough. I
no.
think.
I mean, yeah, it's.
Because we
I just
shot that on the
remember it being-
A7S and on the Blackmagic.
What was the easiest set for you?
For me,
Everybody, yeah. Like the most easygoing set.
Constant Gardener was
Constant
pretty
Gardener
easy.
was-
That was
Yeah.
pretty easy.
Yeah. What was the
was
hardest
fun.
set?
Chocolat, probably.
It was really hard. I feel like there was. I think was the hike really hard?
No, the hike. I was gonna say the hike was the easiest for me. I just
Yeah,
had the hike.
No, the hike wasn't.
I was
hard
gonna.
then.
What's the Dungeons
Oh.
and Dragons one? That's obviously my easiest
Yeah.
one.
LA Story.
Took
Yeah.
us half an hour.
Yeah, that's true. LA Story, I thought was tough.
Are you guys
just
not
'cause-
putting the smoking one, the fish one?
No, how high?
How high?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one was tough.
But I liked that one.
It was fun, but it was hard from a practical standpoint.
Yeah.
Yeah, but see,
Um,
there's the difference. That one was difficult, logistically, practically.
'Cause I had to
Where
get high.
Chocolat.
Which is
No,
we've
I was-
already
I'm saying
learned
from,
this
like,
whole
equipment
weird
theme.
Oh, and
doing
also
night
technology.
shooting and,
Yes,
um,
having to light it and do the dolly on the table and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
those things, which are still rewarding when you do them. But Chocolat, and there was one other, I think not The Purge. Well, anyways, like Chocolat, where it was like getting going was we were yoga and Chocolat were just like
the energy to get going, like get going.
It wasn't about execution. It was just like getting to the execution was like sluggish and painful, and that's the ones. So those were the two that I was like, oh, those were dragging. But all the other ones felt like really like, even if they were difficult, it was like pretty
easy,
pretty good material that we're getting like any given Sunday.
Was there any VFX in this one?
There's stabilizing shots. I think that's the only real visual effect in
like
this.
The gimbal stuff?
Yeah, just stabilizing some of the gimbal stuff, and also some of the like we shot out some of it on a skateboard. On the sidewalk, and there's cracks in the sidewalk that would bump the camera, so I took those out in post.
And we shot it on A7 and Ursa Mini.
How many boxes of Milk Duds did you buy?
5? Yeah.
4? No,
4?
That's all they had,
right?
all I could afford anymore. No. It would have been declined.
Wait, they sent you to go get the Milk Duds?
Yeah. Well, I think I offered because you guys were still deciding, and I was like, I'm going to go get the Milk Duds.
Yeah, I've been there.
But I remember the second day when we were doing the gimbal day, and I think it was just like you and I. Things were more at ease.
Well, Well, also I had time to reflect on like what I was bringing the day before, as far as anger.
It's weird. It's weird when you have like a day of weird energy, and then the next day it's just like, oh, this is falling.
It was also clear what needed to get done. I think also was stressful, feeling like there was unending amount of shots in Chocolat.
And after every shot, I feel like every person on set, there was like 4 or 5 because I was there for a little while. Everybody said something.
Oh, Ambar was here too.
Person. Yep, I think she came the second day.
Ambar came and helped. So shout out to Ambar for helping on the second day.
So there was a lot of people,
a lot of commentary, or a lot of and then like we would do a shot, and then we'd have one lined up, but we'd be like, well, I have a new idea. And like, no, and all I wanted to go was like, no new ideas, no new friends, no new ideas.
Just do it.
Yes.
Do the thing.
It's like random people walking by going, hey, I got an idea.
Yeah, the mailman stopped us. That's not true.
It's so difficult to say that though. Like that, I feel that, but that's like.
But I did it. I felt still very new, and I didn't want to say anything, and I wish that I would have been more vocal about things. But I was just like, because I was sitting there going like, I want us to start. Like I was getting like anxious, and then it just.
This is why I love ADs, but they're so rare on small projects.
Yeah, seriously, because they can yell. They can yell at everybody, and be like, "All right, everybody get there."
That authority figure of sense that people understand that they need to connect with and work with, and also listen to. And they protect people. So like, say for instance, you're acting in this or your input or whatever. I'm not going to get mad at you if the AD's telling me like, look, I got to get her through her she has to leave at 4. But if you're telling me...
I was getting lots of anxiety about that too, because you guys were like, you guys are going to do the spit thing. And I was late. Like I called my work and everything. It was like an hour and a half late because I was sitting there and like you were moving the light, and then you'd move where I was, and then we did it outside, and then it didn't look... It was like an hour of that, and I was just like, I just want to spit it out. I just want to spit it out. What's happening?
See, and it's difficult because you might react in a aggressive way once it hits to that point, and at that point then it's just like, whoa, why are you lashing out all of a sudden? And that's why I think an AD is a great interim, because it's like, look, this person needs to be out of here at 4. You could get mad at me, but we need to go right now.
But I'm
not going to come yell at you. And same thing with the director, with the DP, or DP with the producer, or so many different people.
I mean, for what we were paying Tracy, I feel like she should have been there the whole day.
I'm the one that bought the Milk Duds, so really, you guys, I'll Venmo request you guys $1 each.
Oh shit, we got to Venmo Tracy some.
I'm broke, so.
Oh man,
I had to call my mom
to
have her
direct
transfer money into my account.
So wait, did we show this one to anybody?
We showed it at Unreasonable Shorts.
Unreasonable Shorts? Was there any reaction to it?
I feel like people liked it fine.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like it was...
I don't
think it's a laugh out loud.
Yeah, they
it's
did.
Not
We
a
did
laugh out
get
loud
groans and stuff,
Yeah,
though, which is good. That's what I want. I want
People
to be
reacted.
comfortable.
Yeah.
Did you show The Purge?
No.
I think
No,
that
he
was
didn't
too
bite
long.
on that one. Anyone that had Jake
Oh,
in,
he
he
was in
wasn't
that one.
interested in.
And
I
that
don't
had
think you
what?
sent that many of mine.
I
to
sent
him.
them
No,
all
I
to
get it.
Tori,
No, I
and Tori said
understand.
he didn't like them.
Yeah,
man.
that's what happened. I think.
But
that's
anyone that
By
last
omission,
minute-
you know what I
that
mean? By
last
not
minute
picking them, he said he didn't
exchange
like them. But
between the two. I get it. I understand.
yeah, no, I mean, I wanted to show the purge. I wanted to do that, but
you know, it's I can't wait till we shoot something else.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
Anything else to say
No,
about
I think-
this one?
I think that's about it.
It
This
has
is one of
nothing to
our
do with
longer
this
ones, actually.
Okay.
42 minutes.
All right.
So
42 minutes. Holy shit.
yeah.
Okay.
You got it?
42 minutes.
Holy shit. Okay, bye.
Have you,
Bye, everybody.
There was a huge
Sorry, we started wasting
tangent there.
time.
Did you actually record this whole thing?
Yeah,
Okay.
the lights on.